The exhibition of deception, the Grand Nexus Station gleamed like a jewel against the cosmic backdrop, its crystalline spires stretching across 3 kilometers of space. Representatives from 47 different species had gathered for the most prestigious event in the galaxy, the Centennial Technology Exhibition. This was where civilizations displayed their greatest achievements, where trade agreements worth trillions of credits were negotiated, and where the hierarchy of galactic power was quietly reshuffled every 100 years. Dr. Elena Rodriguez adjusted her plain gray uniform as she walked through the massive exhibition halls. Around her, incredible displays of alien technology hummed and sparkled with impossible beauty. The Velkari had constructed a miniature star that pulsed with controlled fusion energy, demonstrating their mastery over stellar forces. Their delegation, tall beings with skin that shifted between silver and gold, gestured proudly at their creation, while potential buyers gathered in awe. Further down the hall, the Nethys had built a quantum computing matrix that could process the thoughts of every sentient being in the galaxy simultaneously. Their representatives, pale humanoids with enlarged craniums and multifaceted eyes, spoke in harmonious tones about the infinite possibilities of collective consciousness. The device itself seemed to bend reality around it, creating impossible geometric patterns in the air. The Drakmor Pavilion showcased creatures that defied nature itself. Bioengineered warriors with diamond-hard carapaces stood motionless, beside flowering trees that produced pure energy instead of fruit. The insectoid Drakmor clicked and buzzed with satisfaction as delegates marveled at their ability to reshape life itself. Elena reached the human pavilion and sighed. Their display looked pathetic by comparison. A simple mining drone, barely larger than a person, hovered quietly above a metal platform. Beside it, holographic schematics showed basic cargo haulers and atmospheric processors. The technology was functional, reliable, but utterly mundane compared to the wonders surrounding it. "Dr. Rodriguez," called a familiar voice. Elena turned to see Ambassador Chunwei approaching with a group of alien delegates. "These distinguished representatives would like to hear about our latest developments." The group included a Volkari, commander whose skin currently gleamed copper with amusement, 2 Nethi scientists whose eyes sparkled with barely contained laughter, and a Drakmor warrior whose mandibles clicked in what Elena recognized as mockery. "Of course," Elena said. Forcing a smile, she gestured to the mining drone. "This is our Mark 7 autonomous excavator. It can operate independently for months, adapting to different mineral compositions and environmental hazards." The Velkari commander's skin shifted to bright yellow, indicating open disdain. "This is your greatest achievement? A simple digging machine? Our children construct more sophisticated devices as toys." The Nethi scientists exchanged glances, their mental link allowing instant communication. One of them spoke with barely concealed amusement. "Your computational systems appear to be purely binary. How quaint. Our smallest processors think in 17 dimensions simultaneously." The Drakmor warrior's mandibles spread wide in what humans had learned was insulting laughter. "No biological enhancements? No genetic optimization? You remain trapped in your original primitive forms." Elena maintained her composure, despite the burning embarrassment. "Our technology emphasizes durability and adaptability. We believe in solutions that work under any conditions." "Primitive solutions for a primitive species," the Velkari commander said. His skin now pulsed red with contempt. "Perhaps you should focus on agriculture instead of pretending to understand advanced technology." Word of the exchange spread quickly through the station's communication networks. Within hours, footage of the human presentation was being broadcast across the galaxy, accompanied by commentary that ranged from condescending pity to outright ridicule. News anchors from dozens of species used humanity as an example of technological stagnation. The humans continue to embarrass themselves on the galactic stage, announced Anethi's broadcaster. Their stubborn reliance on chemical combustion and mechanical devices demonstrates a fundamental inability to grasp higher scientific concepts. A Velkari military analyst was even more dismissive. These creatures pose no threat to anyone. Their weapons are centuries behind our defensive capabilities. We could conquer their entire system with a single frigate. Elena watched the coverage from her quarters aboard the human transport ship Endeavour. Each mocking comment stung, but she reminded herself that everything was proceeding according to plan. Her fingers moved across a hidden control panel, activating an encrypted communication channel. "Admiral Webb," she said quietly. "The performance was successful. They believe exactly what we wanted them to believe." The face that appeared on her screen belonged to a weathered man in his 60s, with steel-gray hair and eyes that had seen too much war. Admiral Marcus Webb commanded humanity's most classified military project, one so secret that most human governments didn't know it existed. "Excellent work, Elena," Webb said. "The Drakmur are already discussing trade restrictions. The Velkari Military Council is debating whether to place humanity under protective supervision. Our intelligence suggests they'll move within 6 months." Elena nodded grimly. "And Project Prometheus?" "Ahead of schedule. The prototype completed its final trials yesterday. When they come for us, they're going to get the surprise of several lifetimes." Deep in the asteroid belt beyond Pluto, hidden construction facilities had been operating for over 50 years. Humanity's greatest minds had been quietly developing technologies that would have shocked the galactic community into panic. While other species focused on flashy displays of power, humans had concentrated on the art of war. The facilities themselves were marvels of engineering, carved into asteroids and powered by fusion reactors that produced no detectable emissions. Robotic systems assembled components with precision measured in picometers, while human engineers oversaw the construction of weapons that bent the fundamental forces of the universe. At the heart of the largest facility, the prototype warship hung in a pressurized dock. The vessel was massive, stretching nearly 2 kilometers from bow to stern. But its most impressive feature was its complete invisibility to conventional sensors. Adaptive metamaterials shifted constantly across its hull, bending electromagnetic radiation around the ship like water flowing around a stone. Captain Sarah Kim stood on the observation deck, watching maintenance crews make final preparations. At 38, she was the youngest person ever selected to command a capital ship, but her record was flawless. She had trained for this moment her entire career, mastering technologies that officially didn't exist. "Status report," she called. To her chief engineer, Commander Liu Zhang consulted his tablet, his expression serious. "Quantum tunneling drives are operating at full efficiency. We can cross the galaxy in hours instead of months. Temporal displacement field generators are online. We can slow time around enemy vessels while maintaining normal flow for ourselves." Captain Kim nodded, then turned to her weapons officer. "And our offensive capabilities?" Lieutenant Commander Okaffer's smile was predatory. "Gravitational implosion. Cannons are charged and ready. We can create miniature black holes that will crush any known armor. Our neutron beam arrays can phase shift through shields and disrupt matter at the atomic level. And the quantum disruptor." She paused. "The quantum disruptor can literally erase targets from reality." These were not incremental improvements over existing technology. They were revolutionary breakthroughs that humanity had achieved through a combination of desperate necessity and brilliant innovation. While other species had grown complacent with their superiority, humans had pushed the boundaries of physics itself. The ship's AI, designation Athena, spoke in a calm feminine voice. "Captain, we're receiving updated intelligence from our network. The Galactic Alliance is forming a coalition." They plan to quarantine human space within 90 days. Perfect, Captain Kim said. How many ships in their fleet? Initial estimates suggest over 3,000 vessels, including 200 Valkyrie dreadnoughts, 150 Nethys reality benders, and 300 Drakmor bioships. They're treating this as a police action rather than a military campaign. Captain Kim's smile was cold. Their mistake. Admiral Webb always said that the best victories come from being underestimated. On Earth, the governments of the major powers met in emergency session. They had known about Project Prometheus for decades, funding it through black budgets and classified appropriations. Now, as alien fleets massed at the edge of human space, the moment of truth approached. President Harrison of the North American Federation spoke to the assembled leaders via secure hologram. Ladies and gentlemen, we've spent 70 years preparing for this day. Our children and grandchildren will either remember us as the generation that secured humanity's future among the stars, or as the fools who let our species become extinct. Premier Zhu of the Asian Coalition nodded gravely. The aliens made one fatal error. They assumed our public technology represented our actual capabilities. They never imagined we might be intelligent enough to hide our true strength. Admiral, Webb's voice joined the conversation from his command post. The enemy fleet will arrive in 72 hours. Operation Revelation is authorized. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity is really capable of. Across human space, hidden facilities activated. Warships emerged from asteroid bases and orbital stations disguised as research platforms. Advanced fighters uncloaked from the shadows of Jupiter's moons. Weapon platforms that had masqueraded as communication. Satellites powered up their devastating arsenals. The aliens had mocked human technology, dismissing humanity as a backward species unworthy of respect. They were about to discover that their greatest enemy was not the humans they saw, but the humans they had never imagined could exist. Asterisk the Reckoning. Invasion fleet gathered at the edge of human space was a sight to inspire awe and terror in equal measure. 3,000 warships from the galaxy's most advanced civilizations hung in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming with the confidence of overwhelming superiority. The Valkyrie dreadnoughts pulsed with barely contained stellar energy, each one capable of sterilizing a planet. Nethys reality benders twisted spacetime around themselves, their very presence causing visual distortions that hurt to observe. Drakmor bioships writhed like living creatures, their organic hulls constantly adapting and evolving. Fleet Admiral Zexer of the Valkyrie stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Star Crusher, his metallic skin radiating satisfaction. The campaign would be over within days, possibly hours. Intelligence reports indicated that humanity's largest warships were primitive, chemical-fueled vessels barely capable of interplanetary travel. Their most advanced weapons were fusion missiles that his shields could absorb without straying. Status of human defensive positions? He asked his tactical officer. Minimal activity detected, came the reply. Several dozen vessels are retreating toward their inner system. No significant fortifications. No energy signatures suggesting advanced weaponry. Admiral Zexer's skin brightened with amusement. There, not even going to fight, begin the advance. We'll be at their homeworld by tomorrow. The massive fleet began moving into human space, confident in their inevitable victory. Long-range sensors showed human colonies evacuating, their populations fleeing deeper into their home system. It appeared to be a complete rout before the battle had even begun. Captain Sarah Kim watched the approaching armada from the bridge of the Prometheus, still hidden beyond the detection range of conventional sensors. Her ship hung motionless in the shadow of Neptune, its adaptive camouflage making it invisible against the planet's blue atmosphere. Enemy fleet composition confirmed, reported her tactical officer. 3,000 ships across 47 different classes. They're maintaining standard formation, no apparent concern for stealth or defensive positioning. They don't think they need to be careful, Captain Kim observed. Athena, are our sister ships in position? The AI's voice was calm and precise. 12 additional vessels are stationed throughout the system. All units report ready status. The hidden defense platforms are online and awaiting targeting data. Captain Kim stood from her command chair, her expression grim with determination. Signal all units. Operation Revelation begins now. The first sign that something was wrong came when a Valkyrie scouting vessel simply vanished. One moment it was conducting a routine sensor sweep of the asteroid belt. The next it was gone. No explosion, no debris, no distress signal. It had simply ceased to exist. Sensor malfunction, decided the scout ship's squadron leader. Continue. The advance. Minutes later, an entire squadron of Drakmar bioships encountered something impossible. Space itself seemed to twist around them, gravity wells appearing and disappearing without warning. The organic vessels tried to adapt, but their biological processes were too slow. One by one, they were crushed by forces that violated every known law of physics. Admiral Zexer frowned as reports of missing vessels began accumulating. Increase sensor sensitivity. Deploy additional reconnaissance units. The reconnaissance units never reported back. They encountered what appeared to be empty space and then disappeared into nothingness. The advancing fleet began to slow confusion, spreading through the ranks. Then the Prometheus, decloaked, a massive warship materialized directly in the center of the invasion fleet, its appearance causing every alien sensor to shriek with alarm. The vessel was unlike anything in their databases, its hull composed of materials that seemed to shift between solid matter and pure energy. Geometric patterns flowed across its surface like living equations, while dimensional rifts opened and closed along its weapon arrays. Impossible, breathed Admiral Zexer, his skin cycling through colors of shock and disbelief. Our sensors detected nothing. How did they asterisk? Captain Kim's voice echoed across every communication channel in the enemy fleet, transmitted in 47 different languages simultaneously. I am Captain Sarah Kim of the human stellar navy vessel Prometheus. You have entered human space with hostile intent. You have 30 seconds to withdraw or face the consequences. Laughter erupted across the alien fleet's communication networks. The Valkyrie admiral's skin blazed with contempt. One primitive vessel against 3,000. Advanced warships? You have lost your minds along with your dignity. Your 30 seconds are up, Captain Kim replied. The Prometheus opened fire. Gravitational implosion cannons created miniature black holes that materialized inside enemy ships, crushing them from within before the black holes evaporated harmlessly. Neutron beam arrays phased through shields and armor as if they didn't exist, disrupting the atomic structure of target vessels. The quantum disruptor fired once, and an entire squadron of Nethi's reality benders simply ceased to exist. There, matter and energy scattered across dimensions that no longer contained them. But the Prometheus was not alone. Across the battlefield, 11 more human warships decloaked, each one wielding technologies that redefined the possible. The hidden defense platforms revealed themselves, emerging from what had appeared to be empty space to unleash devastating barrages. The alien fleet, expecting easy victory against primitive opponents, found themselves facing weapons that operated on principles they couldn't even comprehend. Their advanced shields, designed to deflect energy and matter, were useless against attacks that manipulated time, space, and reality itself. Retreat! Admiral Zexer screamed, his skin now pale with terror. All units, immediate withdrawal. But there was nowhere to run. Human vessels appeared from every direction, materializing from quantum flux fields and dimensional folds. The aliens discovered that their enemies had been watching them from the beginning, studying their tactics and preparing perfect countermeasures. A Drakmor bioship tried to regenerate its damaged hull, only to find that human weapons had infected it with some kind of temporal virus that aged the organic components millions of years and seconds. A Velkari dreadnought attempted to overload its fusion cores for a final kamikaze attack, but the energy was absorbed by human gravity fields and redirected harmlessly into space. Within 2 hours, the mighty invasion fleet had been reduced to scattered survivors begging for mercy. The few remaining ships floated helpless in space, their weapons disabled and their engines destroyed. The galaxy's most advanced military forces had been utterly defeated by opponents they had dismissed. As primitive savages, Captain Kim opened a channel to the surviving alien commanders. You came here expecting to find weakness. Instead, you discovered that humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to adapt and overcome. We let you underestimate us because it served our purposes. Admiral Zexer's voice was broken, his earlier arrogance replaced by horrified understanding. Your technology, it's centuries beyond ours. How is this possible? While you grew complacent with your superiority, we never stopped learning, Captain Kim replied. Every species that dismissed us as backward gave us the freedom to develop in secret. You mocked our mining drones and cargo haulers while we built weapons that could reshape reality itself. The aftermath of the battle sent shockwaves throughout the galaxy. News of humanity's victory spread faster than light through quantum communication networks, each report more incredible than the last. The species that had mocked human technology at the Grand Nexus Station now faced the terrifying realization that they had catastrophically misjudged their opponents. Emergency sessions convened on dozens of worlds as governments tried to comprehend the new reality. The humans, those backward primitives with their chemical rockets and metal tools, had just demonstrated military capabilities that surpassed the combined might of the Galactic Alliance. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, no longer hiding behind the facade of primitive technology, addressed the galactic community from the bridge of the Prometheus. For too long, humanity has been dismissed and disrespected. You laughed at our technology while we were centuries ahead of your understanding. You treated us as inferiors while we possessed the power to reshape the galaxy. The Velkari High Council, their metallic forms dimmed with shame, transmitted a formal apology. We did not understand. Your deception was complete. We beg for your forgiveness and offer any reparations you deem appropriate. Similar messages poured in from across the galaxy. The Nethys Collective, their superior intellects humbled by their failure to detect humanity's true capabilities, requested permission to study human quantum technologies. The Drakmor Empire, their bioengineered superiority rendered meaningless, offered genetic templates and biological secrets in exchange for peaceful coexistence. Admiral Webb smiled as he reviewed the flood of diplomatic communications. Funny how quickly their tune changes when they realize they're not the apex predators they thought they were. Captain Kim nodded, watching his alien vessels limped away from human space under the escort of her fleet. The galaxy has learned an important lesson today. Never underestimate those you don't understand, and never mistake restraint for weakness. Humanity had revealed itself not as the backward species the galaxy had believed, but as a civilization that had mastered the art of strategic deception. They had hidden their true capabilities behind a facade of primitive technology, allowing their enemies to grow overconfident while they prepared for the inevitable. Confrontation. The balance of galactic power had shifted permanently. Where once humanity had been dismissed as an insignificant curiosity, they now stood revealed as the most technologically advanced species in known space. The mockers had become the mocked, and the supposed primitives had claimed their rightful place among the stars. In the weeks that followed, trade agreements flooded in from species desperate to establish positive relationships with humanity. Research partnerships were proposed, defensive alliances offered, and tribute payments volunteered. The galaxy had learned to fear and respect the species they had once dismissed. Captain Kim stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, watching as human exploration fleets ventured into previously forbidden sectors of space. The galaxy was open to them now, its secrets waiting to be discovered by the species that had proven themselves masters of both technology and strategy. "Where to now, Captain?" Astronavigation Officer Kim smiled, her eyes reflecting the light of distant stars everywhere. The galaxy laughed at human technology, but now they'll watch in awe as we show them what we're truly capable of. The age of human expansion has begun. The Prometheus turned toward the galactic core. It's revolutionary. Engines bending space-time around it as it disappeared into quantum flux. Behind it, the rest of humanity's hidden fleet emerged from the shadows, ready to explore a universe that would never again underestimate the species from the small blue planet at the edge of nowhere special. The galaxy had mocked human technology. Now they would witness human destiny. Asterisk.